Hey YouTube, how you doing? It is another week down. It's another fantastic week, and what better way to start it with a killer comics show. Episode number 12. I can't believe we are already 12 episodes in from this Muppet here talking about comics. Tonight we're going to do things a little bit differently. We're going to start talking about some indie comics, and I thought what better way to do that than bringing on my Welsh counterpart, Scott's Shelf. How you doing, dude?
Hey, I'm good, man. How are you? Thanks for having me on.
Mate, it's my absolute pleasure. I'm doing very well. It's been a busy Thursday, but, you know, time to chill out and talk some comics.
Time to chill out and talk nerd.
Talk nerd.
Can't wait.
Nor can I, mate. So for those of you who haven't checked out your channel yet, if you just want to do a quick intro and just let them know what you're about, mate.
Sweet. So my show mostly contains of reading reviews. It's got some unboxings on there, but at the moment I am focusing on doing my backstory segment series where I just bring on loads of other YouTubers who like comics, and I just get into their heads as to why they like comics, and I learn about their past and learn about why they like the stuff that they like. And that's just, I'm finding it really fun at the moment. I am doing more reading reviews on some more indie books. I'm doing Heavy at the moment, and coming in a couple of weeks I'll be doing Crossover by Image and Origins by Boom. Can't wait. Yep. Charlie. What's going on? I'm still here.
Yep. Where has it gone? What is going on? Are you still there, mate?
What have you done? I'm still here.
How you doing? Sorry, it got really confusing. I could hear YouTube talking, then I could hear me talking, and then I thought it kind of just lagged.
That's right.
Yeah, so obviously the comic and reviews and stuff, you've got your show, your backstory show, which is, it's really, really good. Like, I've watched the last 2 episodes of it, and I really, really enjoyed it. So thank you for having me on there. It was an absolute laugh.
Mate. Yeah, awesome.
It was great. I think like the YouTube UK community is really coming on strong. So
Definitely.
with the likes of you, me, Comico Dino, Hydra, Dawn of Comics, we've got T1 collectibles and stuff like that. Not quite mint. We've got like bloody, we've got comics gaming figures. We've got everyone kicking off.
So many people.
There's so many, and it's such a great time to be alive, and it's such a great community to be part of. So massive shout out to everyone in the chat. Hello, Tom, you sexy pair. Now this guy here, he is a sexy mofo. I'll tell you what, he's as sexy as his artwork. That's all I've got to say on this.
I've just been talking to him. He's a great guy. Good laugh. I can tell straight away. If I ever talk to him on backstory, it'll be a good laugh.
I think comics, gaming figures, awkward. There's no awkwardness here. It's live. It's what happens when
glitch.
We're live streaming. It's always my bloody Wi-Fi. If you haven't seen the previous shows of me and Straight Outta Crampton, check it out. I think he ran my show for about half hour. I tried to change over my internet from dial up to Wi-Fi. So, but let's get down to the comics. Let's talk about the comics. So obviously this week, it was a pretty decent week for indie comics. We had the likes of...
It was cool, yeah.
It was. I mean, there were some first appearances. Not first appearances, there were some first editions. There was...
First issues,
Yeah, Commanders in Crisis #1, which we'll do first. Then we had Rorschach #1, and then obviously we will finish on 7 Secrets #3, which I know myself and you absolutely love. I'm not sure if any people in the chat are reading it. But before we do this, I do have a disclaimer. There are spoilers in this, so you've got 2 choices. You either stay in the chat and don't moan when we talk about spoilers, or you jump off, but you hit the like button first. You leave a comment, so I know that you've been there. You read the comment, you read the comic, then you come back and you let me know what you thought about it. That's the only way we can do this, guys.
If you don't hit the like button, you get a virus. So
you do.
Yeah, so you have to. Sorry, guys.
I think that's how COVID started, to be fair.
Yeah, must be. It's got vid in the word, so...
COVID, Perpetual Comics, thanks for checking in, mate. Thank you very much. First time, what is it? Love you guys too. We'll slip you both. Money, anything you want to slip me, I'm open.
Snickers.
It's a free world, mate.
Yeah.
As you probably know that I come from behind, so why not? Who knows? But yeah, I mean, I reckon we should just jump straight. Who wants to be me waffling on constantly? I reckon we should just jump straight
Let's
into
do
it
it.
and talk about what have we got first. We have got. Let's go back the page.
Back a little
It
bit.
is. Oh no!
Other way,
There we
other
go.
way, other way.
There we go. Commanders in
In
Crisis number 1. Now, for me, this was all kinds of awesomeness.
Yeah, it was just great.
It was. It was just. It's kind of like touching on the crossover type of thing that Donny Cates is kind of looking at that we've got coming out. Is it December? It's coming out, or is it the end
Next
of November?
month. No, 4th of November.
And it's kind of like it even says one of the things comics fans seem to truly love is a good crossover. Now, reading that first line, I was like, this is going to be all kinds of awesomeness. Because I wasn't sure if it was characters we'd known or if it was characters that have been created by Dan Dildo at the bottom. If you're watching this, Dan, I did read that wrong. It is Dan Didio.
Didio, who knows?
But it was wicked. I mean, the introduction, this was really, really cool. I mean, it's obviously very American driven with like the stars and stuff like that. But we jumped straight into it, and I just love the way that this is panning out. I mean, for a first issue, it had everything.
It's great. That introduction at the start, it was talking about the kind of trickiness. Yes, it is. The kind of trickiness, and so like the excitement of a crossover for the readers, but then the difficulties and the anxiety that it gives the writer. So to explain that at the start, it was kind of like setting you up to just be like, please appreciate what we've done, especially the fact that we're doing this with brand new characters. So you've literally got 22 pages to introduce and make the reader engage and feel empathy and actually like the characters in such a short space in such a big event, because it is hard to describe, and bulk out 6 or is it 5? Yeah, 5 different main characters in that many pages. That's basically 4 and a bit pages each.
Thank you for joining.
Hello.
Funky Joker. This is a new name, I think. No, he's been in here before. I do apologise, but thank you everyone in the chat for tuning in to see these 2 Diamond Geezers talk about comics. But do you know what I noticed about this? I'm not sure if you noticed it. There's a cameo by Donald Trump right there.
Oh my God, there is.
Did you not notice it? Let's see if I can.
It's right in the middle. Oh my
there
God.
He is. I noticed that straight away. I was like, this is awesome. So obviously this tells the story of 5 superheroes, and we kind of get to know more about them. We find out that someone has been killed in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, USA, and it looks like she sums it up as the penny vamps. Is it the penny vampires, she says, that have killed him?
I think so.
The penny vampires has obviously got 2 puncture wounds in his neck, and it all seems to be a bit eerie to begin with. And then in this last panel here, it seems that this guy is up to no good. He's kind of giving out.
This badge kind of hovers around, doesn't it? You see that now and again in the issue, and it's just, what is that? And we still don't know.
No, we still don't know. And it's kind of like, I thought this was setting up to be like some vampire type of mystic killing type of thing with like entities and stuff like that. But then it goes on to, I'll get the hang of this in a minute. So then it kind of goes, we go back to the think tank. Now the think tank is kind of like,
it's their base, isn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of like their base. It's like the Fortress of Solitude where Superman would go to think, and this is obviously their base, where everything kind of goes on, and it kind of starts backwards because we kind of get to see the characters before we're introduced to them properly.
Yeah, you see them in action, don't you?
Yeah, we see them in action first, and we kind of think, wow, this is setting up to be great. And she kind of comes across as the Oracle, like the all-seeing mother. She's kind of, from what you get from this comic, she's kind of taken her time out. She's not needed in the field no more. She doesn't seem to enjoy it anymore. And then, sorry, I'm just trying to read the comment. Okay, cool, man.
That's
Everyone
okay.
doing okay?
But yeah, no,
Yes.
she was really cool. Like you can tell that like she's been in the field before. She's done this for a long time. But was it at the end? Like she's like, and it's not my job anymore. She's like, what do I want? Like, what does it say there? The bum, the applause, and like she's not really bothered about the publicity anymore. She just wants to do good, but behind bars, and not behind bars,
Yeah,
but behind closed doors. Like,
yeah, because I think she's obviously, I'm not sure how this is going to pan out, but she kind of comes across to be like the leader
yeah,
of the commanders, and she's kind of she's done what she's had to do. She's left her footprint in it, and she's kind of leaving the door open to like the new age of superheroes. And as it kind of goes on, we kind of find out now this is a great
this
bloody
is
opening.
awesome.
Now
Right.
this was an opening, and kind of we get to see the characters. But what I liked at the end of the comic, which we will get to, is the whole description of them.
Yes. Yeah. Right. Did this on this page? When I read this page, I instantly knew who my favorite was going to be. What was yours?
I'm gonna have to go with Sia.
Sia. Mine was the originator.
Ah,
The originator. I thought that was awesome. Such a clever concept. Her power basically was to make up words, and based on the definition of that new made up word, it would alter reality.
yeah.
And I thought that was awesome.
I mean, I just thought, as first comics go, this was kind of had it all. It was very interesting. The colours on it, for me, we spoke about this on your show. The colours, I kind of read comics two ways. I'll either read it as a fan, and like I'm into it, and I'll read it as a reviewer. And I couldn't really find that much fault with this comic, if I'm honest. It gripped me from the start. It had a storyline that you just kind of eager to know more, and it also had like the artwork is done in a way that you kind of find yourself looking at a page and thinking, I need to look at this again. Am I missing anything?
Yeah. Oh wait, is that Trump?
Yeah.
Yeah. But like I was telling you the other day, I like Dan Mora because of how clean his lines are. And who's done this? David Tinto is the artist for this, but it's that kind. It's still that kind of clean lines. Awesome, like the shading in it is perfect.
Yeah.
Everything is just spot on. There's so much detail, but it's just great. And I just for the very first page, I was like, art wise, I'm gonna really like this.
And I just thought it was wicked. It's got it all. Like these, you've got obviously your prize fighter who's going to be like the hot guy, the face of the commanders, as it were. And then you've got Sawbones, who kind of comes across, who kind of looks a bit like the Green Arrow. I mean, I think there are similarities between these characters. I mean, if you look at the originator, she kind of looks like a female version of Magneto.
Yeah.
You've got Seer, who has got similarities towards Storm. You've got Sawbones, who kind of looks like Green Arrow, and then
It's
you've
like
got
like a
Prizefighter.
vigilante.
Yeah, and then you've got Prizefighter, who kind of looks like a cross between Roman Reigns and Superman.
I was going to say more of a buffed up Superboy.
A buffed up
Personally?
Superboy, yeah. Sorry, I've got to stop
Yeah.
this here. Deep Dive Comics, Geeky Guy Comics, don't hate me, but I'm a Man United fan, have been for 40 years. Right,
Blocked.
how do I kick someone off my chat? No, it's all good, mate. I'm an Arsenal fan, but we can all laugh at Man United, can't we, at the moment? So let's just take that time to, if you're a Man United fan. Sorry, mate, just had to do that. But yeah, so let's just dive on. There we go. I keep getting the buttons messed up. So, I mean, this is kind of good because you kind of see all of the characters' powers and stuff, and then you get to find out that Seer is like, she's really feeling it at the moment.
Yeah, basically what she's going through is what's her power, like quantum control or something like that, isn't it? And she can see.
Her power is quantum god 1 minute at a time. So basically, she can see.
She can see into the future slightly, she's got something with her, hasn't she, that lets her do like energy blasts, like the kind of energy, the quantum stuff that she gets converted into this energy that she can shoot out. But that was made for her. But her having those basically halves the amount of time she can use her quantum ability, and that's a struggle for her.
Yeah. But I mean, it was just because obviously we see like the massive epic. Now, the thing I wanted to know is like, who are these guys? Like, so obviously they keep saying the same thing. We have a right to a hope. You're building our future every second.
Yeah, they've come from the future because they now live in a place that has lost all hope. So they are coming to this time to steal hope from people.
Yeah.
And you can see they've got like brains in tanks on their backs.
Because he says that, doesn't he? He says, I think the pretty boy pulls it out and says you can see their brains ticking. Yeah.
It's a cool concept. It's strange, but it's cool. You know, it's that kind of stuff which is drawing us into this. And it's that originality, and it's like, yeah, this is cool. It's not just your bog standard, strong guy that can fly, woman that can shoot. This bit, this was so cool.
This is insane.
Could you pronounce that word?
I think it's called the chronodilative psychodevolution. Chronodilative psychodevolution.
Chronodilative psychodevolution. And
is that Welsh?
Yeah, it's Welsh, mate. Yeah, that's why I could read it so well. I'll do it again. Ready? No.
Can you say? Are you able? What's the longest road name? Is that something?
Yes, I can say it.
Right.
I can say it. I've been there
got to
as
listen
well.
to this, guys. Everyone in the chat have to listen to this.
The longest town or village in Wales. Okay, I think it's in Europe, and the longest name.
Yeah.
Okay, you ready? Llanfair Pwll Gwyngyll go Gaelic Chwyndrop or Llantysilio go goch.
That's just, if you can just say that for an hour, that is wicked.
No,
that's awesome. That is so good. Oh, mate, that's wicked. But yeah, that I think that says what she's just said as well.
Yeah, that's the same place. Yeah.
So basically, she's just saying that she lives in that road in Wales. But yeah, I mean, this comic's always got action. It's got like the intrigueness of each character, and this was quite a shock for me. And I was quite happy with this shock.
Okay.
That came out because obviously it's stereotypical.
I know what's coming. Yeah.
It's stereotypical because he's a superhero. He's got the brains. He's got the brawn. He's probably got the ladies after him and stuff like that. And then, boom.
Yeah,
I thought this was great.
It was great to check in.
So left wing or so left field. It literally just came out of left field, and I was like, do you know what? This is wicked. I really enjoyed this because it kind of shows that superheroes are human as well. Do you know what I mean? They just kind of. It was wicked. I thought it was wicked. Like
the whole cast is so diverse.
Yeah,
and I think that's awesome. I mean, it's brought the kind of superhero thing up to such a modern era that this is totally fine and totally normal, and just it is just awesome to see.
Yeah, and then he kind of gets the ump. He goes, "You're safe. I saved you. Anyone want to fight about it?" But what I kind of liked about this is that it broke down every single character individually.
Yeah.
So you kind of got sections where you find out about Prize Fighter, then you find out about what's her name?
The Originator.
The Originator. So she goes through, and it seems that she's getting sick and tired of people just asking her to do her powers because obviously it only lasts 24 hours, and you've got her schoolmate here who clearly can't get A grades, and she's like, well, let me try and think about this and get A grades if you can just lend me your powers.
Yeah.
And I don't really think people understand the consequences of what she can actually do.
I know. And she tries to explain it as well, but they're like, this woman here is being quite selfish and being, come on, just help me out. She's like, this will affect everyone in your situation right now.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, but come on, just help me out. And she does. And we don't see the repercussions, but I think we will see the repercussions.
Yeah.
And that'll be really interesting.
I think it's like if you alter the past, it affects the future. I think this has kind of got similarities towards that.
Yeah.
And then obviously the girl gets what she wanted, and The originator walks away. And then yet again, it goes back to Sear, who's been having these nightmares. So basically, the think tank, I think, is kind of like similar to Professor X's school for the gifted.
Yeah, just somewhere for them all to live. Just be safe.
And just be safe. But I mean, this was quite surprising. So obviously, the Hope Eaters, which I'm going to call them, they've come back.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good name.
They've come into her dreams, and then all of a sudden, a giant dodo.
Giant squawk right at the
Do you
bottom
reckon they
there.
just put that in there because they ran out of something to fill that?
They got. We need one more panel. What can we put in? What haven't we seen in ages in a comic book? Oh, I know. Chuck a dodo in there,
dodo.
mate.
It has to be a dodo. But I kind of like him because what's her name? This main one.
I was hoping it'd be on this page, but I can't see. It's on like the first page, isn't it?
See you later, Rod. Thanks for checking in, mate. We'll just call her. We'll call her the Commander Oracle. We'll just go with that.
Okay.
If you guys do know the real name, put it in the chat. We do know it. It's just that we're flicking through comics here, so if you can just drop it in the chat, that'd be great. But she kind of looks out. So I think Sarah's kind of got some underlying superhero health issues here because obviously, didn't they? She gave her the discharge discs.
Yeah, the energy blasting.
Yeah. And they kind of seem to be having an effect on her.
Yeah. Just takes it out of her.
But did you know who I noticed this guy was?
Which guy?
This guy here in the hospital.
No. Who is he? Who do you think he is?
Let's have a look. He's this guy here. He's the officer.
Is he?
So this guy here at the bottom. You still there?
Yeah.
This guy here he's him. So he's a police officer that was at the beginning.
I don't know. It's a different beard.
Well, he kind of looks like him anyway. I might be wrong.
I think maybe we'll find out in the future. Who knows? Yeah,
but then obviously the Green Arrow appears, shoots the guy.
So it's not the Green Arrow.
It's not the Green Arrow.
His name is Sawbone, and his power is what he can basically see.
He can basically.
It's got like this weird X-ray vision kind of thing.
Yeah, and he can kind of look through your body and stuff. And he's got like a X-ray vision, and he's got the the aiming of an absolute legend with his arrow or gun or air rifle, sniper
whatever
rifle.
He uses. Yeah.
Right, so we're going to call her Sandra. Let's call her Sandra.
Okay. Thanks, Tom.
We will call her Sandra.
Sandra.
But I mean, this, yet again, it breaks down into the individual of the comic book character, and I kind of like the way they did it. They give them like a 2 or 3 page spread to go over, and you kind of build a relationship with them, and it kind of gives you the opportunity to pick out your favourite.
It does it so well.
It does. It did. And then we go back to this. I thought was pretty cool, where she leaves the think tank, and she basically she's found this signal that she realises that the guy that was killed at the beginning isn't all he cracked up to be, and then she basically just shrinks him down to the size of Ant-Man. I thought that was pretty epic.
That's really cool. And that acid gun she uses at the start, that's like a memory acid gun. So and you can see that when she walks through it, she says like, I don't know, initiate wait, like set a minute timer basically. And that's
Scott, is it your internet or mine that keeps dropping out?
I don't know. You keep jutting a little bit.
I keep jutting a little bit. Right, hold on 1 second, mate.
Hi everyone. How's it going? Scott Shelf. Always back.
Bloody Wi-Fi. I told you, didn't I? Said no Killer Comic Show would be complete without the shitty fucking Wi-Fi.
You need to change the dial-up.
Look, I've gone now. Look, I've got like 200 meg broadband. It's ridiculous. Hey, Grey Man, you are in the house. You've just jumped on in time to for me to moan about my weekly fucking Wi-Fi. But thanks for joining in, mate. Thank you very much. So what was you saying? It was on the last page. The memory acid is really cool. You know, she makes like an acid wall, and then after a timer, it just goes back, and it's really good. I like that a lot. There's just so many little cool things in this book, and I really enjoyed that. it was really good. I really did like it. And then obviously she zooms off, she goes back to the think tank. Now obviously she thinks she's the only one that knows about this, but
Yeah.
yet again there is someone leaking in the shadows with that badge again.
I know, whatever that badge is.
That's the same thing that was on the first with the guy.
Yeah.
And again, this is it. This kind of reminded me like a Justice League setup.
Yeah.
Where they're kind of all talking and she's like, right, this isn't it. There's something out there bigger than all of us. We all need to come together to think about how we can sort this out. And then it breaks it down. This was epic. This was
cool.
This was really cool. But they've all been presidents.
Yeah. So basically, was it like all of their planets, apart from the Oracle lady, have been destroyed?
Sandra,
yeah. But all the first four characters, all of their planets have now been destroyed. But they were the presidents of America at the time.
Yeah.
And they've all got these abilities, and I don't know how, and I don't know why, but it was just really cool to be like, oh my God, they've made a team of presidents, which is good to know that Trump in the background on the first couple of pages isn't a president in this universe, which is great. It's Sandra.
It is Sandra indeed. And I mean, I thought it was absolutely epic.
Brilliant.
And just
Brilliant
the way
book.
that for a first edition as well. And there's some really good variant covers out as well. We've got like the Merca and Dolfo 1 in 10 variant. There's about 3 or 4 different variants. Here we go again.
That's okay. It's okay. Cover G is my favorite one. Cover G is my favorite. That's the one you've ordered, but you've ordered the Virgin version of it. Yeah, but Cover G is really good.
Give me 2 seconds. I'm going to sort out this Wi-Fi. 2 secs.
2 secs. We do have other books coming up. We have just read Commanders in Crisis, as you've just seen. Brilliant book. I was only aware of that book.
There we go. I'm back in the room.
I was just saying. I've only been aware of Commanders in Crisis since you told me about it, and I was too late to put it on my pull list. So after reading it today, I've back ordered the physical copy and put issue 2 on my pull list, and I'm that impressed with it. I'm
really glad that I actually did jump out to get it on, and I'm glad that I kind of found this. Now I kind of stumbled across this comic by accident.
Yeah.
It wasn't on my pull list at all, and I was just like, "Oh, do you know what? It's a first. It's a first issue. I might as well just see what it is. I like first issues and stuff." Jumped on it, and it was pretty decent. So I'm
really
happy.
impressed.
I'm glad I picked it up. Now up next we have Rorschach Number One.
Rorschach
is Rorschach Number One. Now, do you want to tell me what you thought about this comic, Scott?
You know what I thought about it. I've never read anything to do with Rorschach or Watchmen or anything like that. I don't know. I've not seen the films. I've not watched the TV show. I'm probably going to get quite a few hate comments there. But it is what it is. I've not had any involvement with this kind of stuff. So because of that, I read this and I was messaging you after I read it, basically saying, I don't understand what happened. So to me, but you knew full well what happened. So what that says to me is that this isn't new reader friendly.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I appreciate it. I appreciated it. I enjoyed it. But when you explained that bit that I was missing to me, it then clicked and I understood. But as an initial new reader, if I didn't have anyone to talk to about it, I would have been in the dark.
Yeah, I mean, I totally get where you're coming from. And for me at the moment, I don't know where this comic's going. Obviously, it's a murder mystery comic. There's a murder happened. There's an assassination on Robert Redford, who's gunning for probably a second or third term in a presidential suite. So there's an election. There's a big roadblock party type of thing. But it's kind of like all I know is that this takes part in the year of 2020, which is the same year as the Watchmen TV show ended.
Okay, right.
So, Comic Gaming Figures, I said, I've muted for 5 minutes because I
He's not
haven't
read it
this
yet. Okay.
So, but that's fine. So, I mean, my internet's probably going to play up anyway, so you probably won't catch any of it anyway. Yeah, so this kind of takes place in the year 2020. Now, if I didn't watch, I haven't watched The Watchmen. Like, I'm not kind of a fan of it
Yeah.
as I should be. I did enjoy like the first 3 episodes of it, but I never really watched it. And I only read the comics when I got into Doomsday Clock, which came out at the start of this year. So I kind of only
It's on
got
my
into
list.
then.
Yeah.
But even I was confused about this comic.
Right. Okay. Well, that says a lot then.
Yeah.
Yeah, that says a lot then. One thing that did confuse me was,
Yeah.
like, I only knew it was the year 2020 when later on in the comic you see like a billboard that says something coming in 2021. But there isn't a mobile phone in sight.
No.
Because I was
There's
like,
not.
what year is this? Like the color schemes of the whole thing. I was like, right, it's going to be quite a dark, gritty book. And it felt like 60s, 70s kind of era. With the way that the fashion is and the hairstyles and pay phones and stuff like that. And I was like, and then when I saw the banner that says 2021, I was like, what? Where's the mobile phones? You had a pager at some point?
Yeah, I mean, like the way that the artwork's done, it is very 1960s, 1970s and stuff. And I think it's when he comes out of here. So obviously, skipping forward a bit, these 2 characters, it's Laura Cummings and we assume it's Rorschach. They've appeared at the rally for the Robert Redford, who's now gunning for president, as we just said. And it looks like Rorschach is running to either stop Laura doing it or to kind of not get her to do it yet. And he ends up getting shot in 3 or 4 times in the chest and then gets shot in the face, which kind of kill him, as it
Pretty
were.
much. Yeah.
And then obviously the premise of the story is that there's a detective find out who's at the center of this assassination attempt. He's not going to stop at anything to do it. And he's tying up loose ends. He's kind of doing what he shouldn't be doing, like following leads that aren't really there, but he's kind of digging out to find out about them. Then we end up in this mall scene where we've got the 2 bodies, Laura Cummings and who we think is Rorschach. And then we kind of think, now I was kind of confused about this. I was like, wow, are they really going to kill Rorschach in the first issue?
Yeah. But
they did. Or did they?
Did.
This is if you've read this exactly. If you've read this in the chat, guys, let me know what you think about this, because I read it and I was confused, and it was only when I read it again that I kind of sat down and I spoke to Scott about it and kind of gave my feedback on it. But I'd be very interested to find out what you guys in the chat think about it. I know I'm looking at the grey man here because he's a grey man of absolute knowledge, so he probably knows everything about this. So if you don't, grey man, I've just bigged you up for nothing. So please don't think. But yeah, I mean, I thought the artwork was pretty decent, and I just think that I like the way the detective didn't want to give up on anything. He just wanted to keep going. He wanted to find out who was actually dead.
Yeah.
And it was, I think, Deep Dive Comics has just basically said the same as me. I didn't think I was going to like the show, but ended up wanting more episodes or another season. I did enjoy the comic. Now, for me, I think it was the first episode of The Watchmen, and it kind of got by me. I kind of lost interest. But I've spoken to 2 or 3 people now who've said, like, definitely give it a go, and you should enjoy it. So I think I probably will jump back into it, and it might kind of confirm things a little bit more for me reading Rorschach.
Okay. All right. Well, hopefully.
I mean, I'm just going on what Deep Dive Comic. Yeah, that's exactly it. The book kind of has the Archer vibe with a modern and throwback feel. I've got to agree with you on this. I think if you look at like the adult cartoons of like the likes of Archer and stuff like that, the artwork is very,
Great
very
show.
much like this. It is very much like this. But yeah, I mean, it
This
was.
is 4-issue series.
This is 4 issues. Yeah, so this is four issues. So they've kind of got a. I mean, I think they did enough in the first issue to kind of figure out where this story's going. I don't know if it's done enough to kind of give you enough insight into who these characters were before, or who, especially who she is, because we find out that all the fingers point to, is it what is his name?
Oh, Michael or something.
They did say his name was William.
Oh yeah, William Michaels. I don't know.
it
Maybe I'm thinking of
William
a different thing.
Was it William Mesa?
Maybe you'll find out later on when you skip through. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, so obviously they think Rorschach's dead. Everyone reading the comics thinks Rorschach dead. But did you as well think this ain't all it's cracked out to be? This
Well,
isn't. They haven't killed Rorschach.
As like when you know like it's a first issue, you've got to take it with a pinch of salt, haven't you? Like you can't just have a first issue where the title character has died on the first page.
Yeah.
You've got to think. You've got to assume that there's some twist coming.
Yeah.
But even with that in mind, I still didn't have a clue what was going on at the end and the last page when we see it. For you, I'm assuming it cleared things up, but for me, I was left even more confused because I am a new reader of this kind of thing.
I mean, for Rorschach, I mean, it's all about his mask. Now, obviously, Rorschach is based on the Rorschach test, and it's basically psychologists and stuff, they hold up the paper and it's kind of like the black ink and you kind of see what you want to see. So Rorschach's mask, the real Rorschach's mask, it will move around so you can't ever figure out anything about him. You can't see his face, you can't see who he looks like or anything like that. So I was kind of looking at this comic and it kind of hit me at the beginning and I was like, well, his mask doesn't seem to be moving, so it doesn't seem to be the real Rorschach. And then
Probably
we kind of
there's a big
find
hole
out
in it.
exactly that. It probably is that. And then we kind of find out that it's because there are various shops that are selling it as a gimmick mask, as a Halloween mask, as a fancy dress mask and stuff like that. But this part here was really telling to me, where he kind of goes and sits down and interviews the police officer that was on the site that night. And I did like the kind of flip back to how it all started. I thought this was pretty cool.
What I like there, the tiny detail here, if you go back a page, the last panel here, you see that in the corner, you got the blue with the stars. Yeah. So that is kind of like, you know, like you see in TV shows, you get like a transition of things going across the screen. Yeah. This panel and then the next panel is really good at doing that. So you go into those balloons and then it's kind of like a...
See, when you read it as a 2-panel like that, if I go back one, it doesn't show it. I thought it was going to show as you would have seen it, as if you was reading.
Yeah,
you can't. Is it backwards? It is backwards, isn't it?
Yeah.
There we go. But it's not going to show them too. But obviously, that bottom one is the top of that one. Yeah. And you kind of get it like that. But I mean, I really liked the artwork of this, and I thought the story, it was very, very confusing if you hadn't read anything about Rorschach. And I think Gaming Comic Figures has just confirmed that this is 12 issues, so they have got a lot 12. Of work to do. I'm kind of glad that it's a 12 issue because
that's better.
It is much better. But it was quite graphical, if I'm honest.
It's definitely a mature read.
It is a very mature read. It's like a cheese.
Like a blue cheese.
Like a blue cheese, yeah. But yeah, I mean, the way that this kicked off and you kind of see Rorschach and you're like, wow, this is getting to it now. We're going to find out, is this really the Rorschach? And then you kind of think, no, oh my God, he's gone. They've all been shot. And then boom, the door clicks. Rorschach's it. Now, this for me, on the page, this is a great image. It shows basically, cool. It shows Rorschach in all his like glory because that's kind of what he is. He's a very dark, he's a mysterious, he's kind of like an anti-hero. I mean, at the end of The Watchmen, he kind of sets out to try and kill Dr. Manhattan, and Dr. Manhattan has taken it upon himself to save the world, he has to kill Rorschach.
Okay. Yeah.
So then, I'm not sure if it's the end of the TV series or it's the end of the comic, but he kills Rorschach, or so we think he kills Rorschach. And then this is where this comic picks up from.
Right. Okay.
So the way that I'm trying to clarify it, the way that they've done this is that Rorschach died at the end of Watchmen, which is set in a different year or so, and then it's now, look at the date, you can't even see the date. At the end, it comes back, it's 2020, and he just turns around and says, right, look, it's 2020, we're going to listen to some tapes. Now, I thought this was very, very interesting because these are the original tapes from the writer and the artist.
Oh, okay.
Of the comic. So these are the original discussions. What you're actually reading, the writer and the artist actually spoke about this, and they're just literally reading out the recordings of it.
So they recorded their discussion.
Yes.
And then
they recorded their discussion.
And they just put it down in this book.
Yep. See, that's cool. Is it. So the Grey Man is clarifying it. So Rorschach wanted to kill Ozymandias, but then Manhattan killed Rorschach to keep Ozymandias' secret. Yeah. But the thing is that we find out at the end of this comic is this is it. The one you wanted to know who this ginger guy was. Now this ginger guy that's the real Rorschach. That's Kovac. What is his name? I can't remember Kovac. I'm just trying to look. We were speaking about the other day, Kovac. What did we say his name was?
Kovac?
It was Walter Kovac. Now, Walter Kovac, yeah, so he's the original Rorschach.
Okay, yeah, and that was the bit.
Understand.
That was what I needed to know at the start.
Yeah. Yes. So basically, they are saying, yes, the year's 2020, yes, Rorschach's dead, but did Dr. Manhattan really kill Rorschach, or did he just send him to another timeline and give him a second chance?
Right. Okay.
It's very confusing.
Yeah. So there's quite a bit of background reading and a bit of background knowledge.
Yeah.
To get into this.
Yeah.
So even though it's an issue one, you're going to need to know a bit before you read it.
Yeah, you kind of do, and it's only because after I read this comic, I kind of read it again, and then I was like, right, hold on. So if the year's 2020 and Rorschach's dead, who's the guy that died when Dr. Manhattan killed him? Do you know what I mean? So
okay. So it was confusing for you as well, but for a different reason.
Yeah, totally.
Okay. One thing I did like about this book, like, take all of the Rorschach stuff away. I really like the detective side of things. I like that. The investigation side, the build-up of it, and the little bits of information trickling throughout the issue. Yeah. That was good. It was just this bit that confused me. So yeah, that's the only bit I say I can enjoy about it. The art was cool, very moody, very
very Sin City.
Yes, yeah, in parts,
very Sin City-esque, Archer-esque. And I really enjoyed that. It's just, I just wish the story was a bit clearer in the fact. But then it's the same as the Watchmen. The Watchmen film and the Watchmen TV series, from what I've seen of it, is kind of along the similar lines. You kind of find yourself being confused, and then at the last minute, you think you're going to fathom it out, and you're like, oh my God, you've just thrown a curveball. I ain't got a clue what's going on. But I think this is definitely going to be a murder mystery comic that I'm going to stick with, because
cool.
I'm kind of invested in it now. I've read the first issue 2 or 3 times. I kind of want to figure out what's going on with it. So it's definitely a comic I would say I'm going to stick with.
Cool. Personally, it's a no from me.
That's all good. That is all good. I mean, I might get 3 or 4 issues in and think, yeah, fuck this. I can't. Yeah. My little brain can't keep up with it. But yeah, it was all right. It was a decent read. It wasn't read of the week, I wouldn't say. This looks pretty good, though. Batman 101. That looks like it's going to be epic.
Yeah.
And then we have now. This is the pièce de la résistance.
Yes, can't wait.
That was really good French, wasn't it?
Great French, mate. Almost as good as my Welsh.
Are we? Right, here we go. Let's get the page bigger. Now me and you have spoken about this in depth. I love this comic. I wasn't expecting it to be as absolutely amazing as it was.
Just gonna get it.
If I'm being honest.
Yeah. But yeah. By the way, this is cover A, obviously, and then this is the secret variant. This is cover B, secret variant there.
1 sec. I'm just going to put you on a solo for that. Now that is awesome. Look at that.
That's nice. There's Casper there, a bit battered and bruised.
Yeah.
Very tough boy, though. Very tough boy.
And then you got cover A as well. Do you want to show cover A again?
Yes, cover A.
Look at that. I mean, I just think every single cover that they brought out so far has been
amazing.
Epic. I've really enjoyed it. I've really, really loved it. And I just love the fact here that they're in the clasps of evil.
Before we start, can you go back? Do you remember that cover I was telling you about earlier for the Rorschach by Lee in Inwick thing? This is a little, little thing.
Now this is a little Easter egg that Scott pointed out. Now, I don't know how I can zoom in on this, but do you want
everyone just looks close to their screens? Basically, the guy that Rorschach is battering, if you look at his knuckles, you can see that it spells out COVID-19.
It does indeed. You got COVID-19.
Yeah, I thought that was I don't know if that's what a nod that was to, like why they would do that, but it was a nice little find nonetheless.
Yeah, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I thought that, and I literally only found out about at 5 minutes before we went live.
Yeah.
So, thanks for putting that on me, mate. That was
That's
great.
okay. No problem. No problem.
It was wicked. But now that's a bloody cover that I want to go and get. So, cheers, mate. Nice one. But 7 secrets. This is Tom Taylor, Danielle Dean. I always get his name wrong.
Danielle Di
Nicuolo. Now, for me, this is one of the comics that I look forward to every single time it comes out.
I came home, saw that my package was on my doorstep, and I was excited. I knew what was in there.
We're talking about a comic package, yeah?
Yes.
You didn't get home and put your package
I didn't just
your doorstep,
put my package on my doorstep. No. Thanks.
But it's great. I just love this. I love the fact that it's just absolute awesomeness.
Amon is absolute savage. He is a monster.
Absolutely.
And but basically what he's done, so in the first issue you see that he cuts off Sigurd's head. And what he's done, like issue 2 was a bit of a flashback for Casper's story, but then issue 3, this starts off, he basically drags Sigurd's headless body, straps it to the gate of Buckingham Palace, puts his head in a bag, and just leaves it there. And I was like, that is so savage.
I know. At the end of number 2, when we find out Casper's only really just getting to know his mum, Eva, and his dad Sigurd, and then it just ends. And Sigurd kind of knows it's going to happen. He's like, do you know what? He kind of introduces himself to his son, and he kind of just goes off knowing that full well that he's going to die. And I was gutted.
Same.
I was like, this is and I think comics gaming figures is basically hit the nail on the head. Can Tom Taylor do anything wrong?
Mate,
I don't think he can, mate, if I'm honest.
He's a bloody saint.
He is. And he's also called Tom. I think it must just be Tom's.
Tom's a legend, yeah.
Toms are legends. And what is he saying? I cannot wait to read Dark Ages for Marvel. That's another one that's going to be pretty decent. But stop jumping in, Tom. We're trying to review this comic.
God, Tom.
Okay?
Leave it out.
God's sake. Do it on your show, mate. But yeah, this was kind of like, and the fact that like is we know, and yet again, there's the symbol there. We know the symbol's there, and I mean, look at this in this panel here. There's Sigurd. He's just literally
crucified, pretty much,
hung out to dry.
Yeah, and it is just mental.
And it's only when like one of the guards, he goes to wake up Her Highness, and he's like, "Oh yeah, you kind of need to wake up for this."
Is this the Queen?
I think
In
she's the
this
Queen.
universe, this is the Queen.
This is the Queen. Yeah.
So that's
She
pretty
kind
cool.
She's kind of got like a Meghan Markle vibe type of thing. Is that?
Yeah.
Are they? Is Tom Taylor doing like a Simpsons and letting us? Is he foreseeing the future?
Who knows? You heard it here first.
Who knows? Yes, you did hear it here first. Been super tempted to give Seven Secrets
mate.
a go, and now I
Do
definitely
it,
will.
please.
You're 100%. Honestly, the Funky Joker. It is, and if you don't want to know spoilers, I would kind of just either knock it on mute for 5 minutes or come back and watch the replay, because I don't want to ruin it for you, because if someone had done it to me, I would have been really annoyed, because it is such a great comic.
It's special. That's what it is.
It's very special. There's nothing out there at the moment like it.
No.
What does that say?
It's brilliant.
What did Tom say? Sorry, he had no one to talk to on my show. Cue small violin. Well, I'm surprised I've still got 3 people here, mate, considering my Wi-Fi is basically going at the speed of a hamster in a wheel.
Oh, man.
So, but we'll stick through it. It's live. Yeah. We'll just go with it. Let's
move on. Let's move on. So
let's move on. So we've got Meghan Markle in bed. Harry's gone out for a run.
Yeah. So the guard here is basically just saying like he's trying to wake her, and she's basically saying, "Piss off. If it's nothing urgent, I don't want to know." He's like, "Look, we've got this note." And she's like, "Oh my god!" And then she goes to the secret secret order phone.
Yes.
Goes to the secret order phone, and that so that to me says, there's this history now between the royal family and
it's the Uber Eats phone.
yeah.
This is the Uber Eats phone where she orders her takeaway.
It's a really cool thing, and I think
it is the link, and that's it.
Yeah. And then we jump back to Casper.
And Eva's, she's shown up, and she's kind of give Tatiana, Tiana, she's give her the news that Sigurd's dead. They found the body at the at Buckingham Palace. I'm assuming it's Buckingham Palace.
Yeah, it was. It says at the start. Yeah.
And then it's the trials. Obviously, someone has to go beside Eva to hold one of the suitcases, and the trials begin. And she's so adamant that she doesn't want her son to be given that opportunity. She still doesn't think he's ready, even though he's been training for this moment since he was born.
His whole life, yeah. He's been with the Order since he was born, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And he's kind of like, he's ready for this. I mean, I think everyone 100%. Reading this comic knows that he's ready for this. After what he went through in the second comic, I was in his corner all the way for this. I was gunning for him to get it.
Yeah.
And Tiana, she was so against Eva and Sigurd's relationship, but yet she's all for it.
She's very supportive of Casper.
Mm-hmm.
Very, like she's very trusting in his abilities, and she's very, she likes him a lot. Pretty much, she thinks he's worth getting the position of the holder. Which is what this issue is all about. It's the trials of becoming the next holder, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty much a bit of a Hunger Games.
Yeah, very much so. And it does have, like, especially as it goes on, we kind of get to see that Casper's grown up, and that he's given his time. He's got to speak in front of like emperors, presidents, kings, queens, ministers, and he doesn't really know what to do. He's kind of thrown in at the deep end. And for me, this was kind of like Tiana already saying to him, "You've already been chosen. You now just need to do the formalities and go with it."
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, it's the classic thing where like so many people that you don't know have met your father, and they're telling you all these stories about this guy. And you're like, and he says that he couldn't put the same guy in his head. He didn't think they were talking about the same person, and it's just not the guy that he knew. And and then at the end here, it's this is what started to break my heart in this issue when he talks about his dad. He says, Sigurd was my father, but we weren't really allowed to talk about that. I once gave him a bird. He taught me how to fight. I don't know if he liked me. And I was like, oh my God, because you know he loves his son so much. But yeah, and we see more of this later on.
Yeah, and it was just, I just thought this was really heart-wrenching. I was like gutted for this. I was like, oh my God, how is this going to pan out? Is he going to win, or is it just going to flip the whole comic on his head and he's not actually going to be given a chance to do the trials? But then this was just...
This is where I was gone.
This was just emotional.
So, let's give it some context. Yeah. So Eva brings Casper to this office and says, your dad left his chest under the desk for you. And he's like, what's in it? Have you looked in it? And she's like, no, I have this thing called respect for privacy. And he looks in it and he gets all these things out. And a little thing here, you can see right in the middle, you can just see the cover for issue 1 of We Only Find Them When They're Dead. Right under there.
Yeah. It is,
and I don't know if Deep is a Boom Studios.
We only find them when we're dead.
There it is. But yeah, so there's lots of little things here, and it's quite cool. But
that was a great little Easter egg.
Yeah, but there's she was like, how many gifts are there? And he goes, well, there's 15, and he's 15 years old, and you find out that he has basically been buying him a gift every year. But not being able to give them to him, and he's just been buying something that he thinks he would like, and just saves them in this box. And I think that is so like fantastically sweet, and it's a way for this father to put his love into something, and was able to give this across after he'd gone.
When he puts on his dad's jacket, I was like, this is awesome. This is awesome.
It just goes to prove that to feel like this in a book, you don't need huge action and epic fights and stuff like that. It's just a simple thing of, you've now got your dad's old jacket, and I felt exactly the same as you. It was awesome.
And I just love the fact that she's like, I'm going to tell you the biggest secret ever.
Yeah.
And you can't say everything, and she just literally turns around and says, I love you with my whole heart. And it was just, this was a really sincere, emotional panel, because at the end of the day, no matter if you know your parents or anything, a kiss from your mum can make everything better. Do you know what I mean?
I'm feeling it now, mate. It's coming back.
Yeah.
It's coming back.
It's
gonna go.
Tom's feeling it. Tom, the panel's killed me.
Good. Did, I'm glad. If it didn't, you're a robot.
And you are. And then we just literally, I like the way it just kind of ended with Eva giving Casper a kiss, and then the Hunger Games began.
Then we start. So cool.
This was kind of wicked. It was just the fact that there's 4 briefcases there. 7 is the number. Who's going to pick up what briefcase? And then it kind of just goes on. They're sent to a room to starve with no food, no sleep. Turning everything away, and then they're thrown out in the Alaskan, wilderness to bloody work as a team, huddle together. And then, but what I did notice here, right, is that I didn't know you was allowed to drop the suitcase, but she seems to have put the suitcase down there.
Well, you can put it down. You just can't let anyone take it, because there are some panels in here which do show it's just like next to them. Yeah. And then do that one, they all huddle together. Now obviously the big guy, he doesn't want any part of it, but he kind of realizes that teamwork makes the dream work. And then this was a great panel. The fact that they're torturing them, and they've got to make them sit there and look at it. Because it was kind of like, who's going to give in first, the tortured, or who's being tortured here? Is it the actual person in the chair, or is it the person that's being made to watch? It's kind of like a double-ended sword. Yeah, isn't it, both of them, just in different ways.
But
they both had the option to say stop, and if they said stop, they would give up their suitcase and they're out. And then this is when they started the dropout. What's his name? Was it D? I can't remember his name. Dilla.
Is it Dialer?
I've got it here.
Dion.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, Dion. Yeah, so Dion was the first to go. Pretty much just because. Why did he say that? He didn't. Yeah, I don't know why he gives in. He said, just don't let Titus win.
Yeah, I think it's because he realizes that he's not cut out for it.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want to be able to not do it, and Casper loses that chance of actually doing it, because I think deep down they all know that Casper's the chosen one,
100%.
and they kind of know that he's the one that if he's going to do it, it's going to be him.
Yeah, he's got the most fight in him, to be fair. And then it's Casper's go to watch the torture, and then he doesn't agree with what did he say? He doesn't agree with like the parameters of it. In the next page, is he frozen again? Charlie, you've gone again, mate. So what happens then? What happens? So Casper goes. He doesn't agree with the parameters of what's happening right now, and just basically kicks off. Just starts a massive fight with the people doing the trials, and you know, and then they kick off. The leaders kick off then, and they're basically saying, "What the hell happened?" And it's like, this hasn't happened in like 2,342 years.
Yes. I know. Hey, you're back in, mate. I'm going to have to move house just to get decent Wi-Fi.
Did you hear me the whole time?
Yeah, I could hear you.
Just couldn't hear you.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, and I think to be honest, like, we all know Casper's going to be the life and soul of this whole comic. But is he though? Because at the end of number 2, he said it feels really weird to be able to talk about this, to know that I'm not going to make it to the end.
Oh, as like a narrator kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's just something we're gonna have to go through in it and just see how it goes.
I think it is, but I did love this. Like, he just went against all because no one actually said that there's rules in it where you can't smack.
Yeah, it was great. It was really cool.
Yeah. He just kind of went against it and was just like, do you know what? I don't like what you're doing. I still haven't put down my case. And
the drawing, the artist, the art on this page is cool. It looks very, you know, just, I can't remember his name now, but his face is just so animated. You know what I mean? And I just love
very
that.
Anime. It is very anime.
I just loved it. I thought that was really cool. It really got his like anger across. But then the bottom right panel is very serious and back to the normal style. That was really cool.
Did you know what I liked about this though? At the end, obviously, Casper thinks he's messed up because he's falling in the water and he's falling off the plane.
Yes.
But
he
Tiana's
lost.
like, do you know what? You might have lost, but we were looking for far much more than that. And then he literally, the guy's jumping up, Titus is jumping up and down thinking, yeah, I've won, and he's out because someone picked up his case.
Yeah, he's left his case unattended, yeah.
And this part was wicked.
Yes.
You've done it, you've won. Can you give me your case? And he's like, no, love, you're not going to catch me out like that. I've been through hell and back, and you think I'm just going to hand it over to you at the end. I love that. I love the fact that he was just like, he still knew what he was doing, even though he was kind of unsure. And then
she was pretty much like, sorry.
No, go on, mate, go on.
She was pretty much like, right answer. No is the right answer.
Yeah.
And then, he carries on talking with Eva then, being like, so when do I get the real one?
Yeah. And you know, I loved it at the bottom, these 3 bottom panels, because you're so focused on what Eva and Casper are talking about. And it was only when I got to the end, I realised there's a guy in the background, a boat's just pulled up.
Yeah.
And it's kind of got bombs on. And then I was like...
He's been holding the real case the whole time.
Yeah. I was like, well, he definitely ain't dancing around. And then he's like, first keeper, there's something. Boom.
I know. So... I'm on his back. He's I don't know if he's just after the family in general, or if this is just a unfortunate circumstance.
Yeah.
but yeah, it was a great book all in all. I do like the little funny thing at the end when he finds out that he was carrying the real thing the whole time, and he pretty much says, "What does he say? Oh, I left it outside when I went to the toilet.
She was
When I
like,
went to the bathroom."
don't say that. Don't tell
Don't do
anyone.
that again.
I,
Awesome book.
honestly, I thought it was a really
Yeah.
great comic, and I'm really looking forward to reading like what else is coming up.
Same. Little thing, right? So you see at the front here, the cover there. So you see all the characters there?
Yes.
Yeah. Look at this guy, right? That one there.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the difference there?
His hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, because his hair's tied up, isn't it? There.
Well, and it's like blonde in this one, kind of thing,
Yeah.
blonde brown kind of thing. But yeah, it was just maybe a little oversight in the character design. Maybe that's like an older character design of the thing. But yeah,
See, I heard on the grapevine that throughout every single issue, there's 7 secrets hidden in each issue.
Oh, don't be like I know. Had to go through them again.
Because I literally heard it at 2:00 this afternoon. I was talking to one of my mates, and he was like, "Did you know this? Apparently, there is seven secrets in every single issue."
That is
So,
cool.
I mean,
Maybe that's one of them.
maybe that is one of them. It's kind
Maybe
of
that's one
like
of them.
spot the difference.
Yeah.
Um,
I want to talk about one more thing, which I talked to you about
yes,
earlier on.
back to solo layout.
Oh no, it's okay. We can be both on. That's fine.
Okay.
So basically, issue 1 had the secret spoiler cover, which was really cool. This is basically what the first suitcase looks like, and it's only a bit of cardboard cover, and it holds behind a virgin cover, and it's stunning. So that's called the secret spoiler variant. So the cover B for this one is called the secret variant. So I was confused, and I'm probably thinking and maybe hoping that other people are confused as well. So I was hoping that this would be like, the number 2 or the number 3, that kind of thing, right? With that cardboard thing that you can just bring up, and that would be, and then that would be that kind of gimmick going there. And I was a little bit disappointed. So I actually went and messaged the CEO of Boom Studios, Ross Ritchie, to ask him about it, and I've got it here. I'll just get it up for you now. So he was a really nice guy, to be fair, and I just asked him. I said, will there be more covers like this spoiler secret variant one? I said, I absolutely love the fact that you could just pull that back and reveal the virgin cover of that. And I thought that issue 3 would be the same. Is it going to be a one-off, or will there be more in the future? And he came back, he was really honest, and he goes, I don't think there are any plans right now, but we are always looking to create new and exciting ways, and might revisit that plan in the future. So, I thanked him a lot for clearing it up. And I said, I really do think that doing those kind of slipcovers will generate the excitement and buzz. And I said, imagine being able to get all of those 7 secret suitcases and having them on your shelf. Or in a frame and stuff like that. I thought that'd be really cool. And he liked that. He liked that message down there. So that's pretty cool. So who knows? If anyone wants to jump in the comments and say that's what they'd like as well, and maybe Ross Ritchie will see this video and go, hey, maybe we should do that because people want it.
Well, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to drop the link to this chat because I'd like to see if Tom wants to jump on and talk about it, because I know he's been reading this comic.
Okay.
So if he's still there, he can jump in. We've got literally 5 minutes left. If he doesn't want to jump in, then I've just literally totally mugged myself off. But the link is in the chat. If anyone wants to jump on and discuss 7 secrets with us quickly, because me and Scott could talk about it all night.
Oh, 100%. So can I give scores for each of the books we've read today? Is that okay?
Of course it is.
So Commanders in Crisis, 8 out of 10. I thought it was strong, but it was really cool in parts, but there wasn't that huge excitement factor for me. Rorschach, purely on the not new reader friendly basis, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. There are other people out there probably give it higher because they know what's going on, but because I didn't know what's going on, that's what I'm going to give it. So sorry if I've offended anyone there. And then 7 Secrets. I don't know if I'm being biased or it's just the fact it is just an amazing story. And I really hope you do agree with me, but I really want to give this issue 9 out of 10.
So Tom is going to jump in. He is going to jump in.
Cool.
Just give him 2 minutes.
Cool.
You see, I like when I do my written reviews. I do give like it's either 5 geeks out of 10. Like for
Yeah.
I would, if I'm being honest, I'd give Rorschach a 4 because I think if you're
4 out of 5.
I'd give it 4 out of 10 if I'm honest.
Oh, okay.
Because I think it's very confusing unless you've read The Watchmen. It kind of like you don't know what dimension you're reading it in, you don't know what year you're reading it in. It's kind of very confusing. It's kind of all up in the air. So I think for a new reader like yourself, and obviously, and for me to be fair, jumping into it is like very confusing. It's one that I kind of found that confusing. I want to know more about it.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So I'd give that a 4 out of 10. I think there's definitely room for improvement there. 7 Secrets. I've got to give it a 9. Like, I absolutely loved it. I love the artwork.
I'm so happy you agree.
Scott, I'd hate to be the comic that Scott gives lower than a 6.
Basically, so this is my friend Lee, okay? He knows that I love everything. I will give anything a good review because I always try to see the positive in things. So that's why he's saying that. So for me to give something a 6, it must be really shit.
Yeah.
That's what he's saying.
But yeah, Lee, I totally, like, for Rorschach, it's lucky to get a 4 if I'm honest. I mean, I read it because I was like, this looks great. And I see like 3 or 4 pages. I thought it was going to be good, but I was a bit disappointed if I'm honest.
So you're going to carry on, but may stop. I'm
going to carry on because I want to know what's going to happen. But I might get 3 issues in and think, I can't comprehend this. I don't know it's really, my brain can't take it. I haven't watched The Watchmen. There's too much. I've got a feeling it's going to be, there's too much to know about The Watchmen if you haven't watched it already.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I mean? And
yeah, there's such a deep... there's a lot of information behind it. There's already, you know what I mean? Is he here?
Yeah. He's here. He's here.
What's up, guys? You all right?
Hey.
I'm all right, mate.
How you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. Excuse the look. I've just literally got ready for bed. I was like, I'm going to bed.
Well, I see you was in the chat. You've been there from the start, and I thought, right, do you know what, we're talking about this. I just wanted to get you, like, obviously me and Scott have rated it. I've given it a 9 out of 10. Scott's given it a 9 out of 10. I just want to see what the man himself thinks.
Well, I think 7 Secrets is one of my favourites that's going on at the moment. So I would definitely give it a 9 out of 10, if not a 10 out of 10.
Ooh.
I think it's got one of the best stories. And this particular issue, like issue 3, I really felt for Casper, like the whole way through.
Yes.
Like, obviously losing his dad, not even getting to find out that his dad loved him, then finding out his mum actually loves him. Full on pulled at my heartstrings, man. I was like, this is incredible.
Yeah. And especially when he puts on his dad's coat, it's like,
yeah.
Oh, God, like this is...
That was the wrencher for me. Yeah. That just wrecked me.
Yeah, that is real heart-wrenching. I was like,
yeah, please.
What?
No, you're crying. You're crying.
It's going to be interesting to see how it pans out because I'm like, Scott will know this, but every time a new issue comes out, if it's a comic that I'm really invested in, I'll read. So before number 3 came out, I read issues 1 and 2 again.
Nice.
So it was at the forefront of my mind. So as soon as I jumped into number 3, I kind of knew, right, yeah, that's what happened. Because it's like when you watch a TV series, if you're watching it every week, you kind of think, oh, I forgot what happened in the last one. And you don't get a recap in comics.
Yeah.
So,
do you know what? That's a really good way of doing it. I wish I'd have done that with a few things that I've reviewed because I recently read Something to Clean the Children. And I think if I'd have waited each month to read it, I wouldn't have known what was going on. But because I read it all in a massive chunk up to what you're up to now, which I think is issue 12, I kind of know what's going on and I actually really like it. Yeah. And I did the same with Once and Future, which is another one of my absolute favourites going on at the moment.
Oh, my God. We're best friends, me and you, mate. Jesus.
Happy days, mate. Hashtag wibbles.
Wibblers.
Did you read Commanders in Crisis?
I did. I loved it. I thought it was great. I liked that it was very similar to Justice League, but so different. If that makes sense. I know that sounds a really stupid thing to say, but it was so different, but so similar to what I'm used to. And I liked that each character comes from a different alternative universe. I thought that was quite a nice take on it.
Very cool, yeah.
And Sandra was my favourite character.
Sandra.
Oh, okay, Sandra.
But I just love the fact that it was able to the similarities between there, like the fact that the crossover, it seems like everyone's kind of jumping on the crossover bandwagon at the moment. And this for me was really interesting because it was first appearance of all these characters we haven't seen before. And it was like, this is wicked. And then obviously the scene at the end where they're kind of all sitting in the think tank, which is very much like the Justice League headquarters.
Yeah.
And then when you get to find out who they all are, they've all been presidents in a different dimension. It was kind of like Elseworlds type of...
Yeah.
It was kind of a really cool reveal at the end where they've all been presidents in their alternate universe. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. And I just thought it was something to... it's definitely going to be a comic that I'm going to definitely pick up and invest in again.
Yeah, definitely.
But I've just noticed that it says notquitemint.com comic shop. So while I've got you on here, mate, I think me and Scott will both say massive congratulations to
well done.
To getting your shop up and running, mate. I had a look at it as I was walking back from work, and it's something to be proud of, mate. It looks very...
Cheers, guys. Appreciate that.
Much, very, very appreciated. Has it taken a lot of time to get in to do it and stuff? Is it a lot of planning?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it was one of those things that me and Rich started together, and then he's just carrying on with the YouTube thing, and he's not doing the shop. But it's now kind of my thing. It's my little baby. But it's something I've always wanted to do since I was 7. Yeah. It's the hairstyle, I'm sure. But yeah, it's something I've always wanted to do since I was 7 years old. So it's like a 23-year dream finally coming to fruition, which is pretty cool.
Is it an actual shop, not just online?
No, just online at the moment.
Just online. Okay, awesome.
But
I'll
it's
take
just
a look
online.
later.
At the moment, we're just doing 616 exclusives. I've got a few back issues to pop up on there. And then we'll be doing we're gonna do a slab shop, so we'll be doing lots of like CGCs, CBSCs, and I think it's PX something, but I don't know anyone ever buys any of the PX stuff. I don't even know what it is. I've never even seen one.
What is that?
Yeah, it's like a cheap alternative to CGC and CBS.
Oh, okay.
Where they verify signatures, but I don't know whether or not it's legit.
With Funko Pops, it kind of comes in. You can get Funko Pops that are PX exclusives.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if it's the same. I guess it's the same company.
It could be.
But it's kind of like a more affordable way of getting something that you're after.
Makes sense. Oh yeah, because of course they've done the PX variant covers to Venom, haven't they? Where you've got the Funko Pop Carnage and then you got the Funko Pop Venom. They're pretty cool. I've got both of those. Yeah. They're pretty cool. Yeah,
but mate, it's great to see someone from the comic community actually living their passion and their dream of what they've kind of wanted to do for years. So massive shout out for you for finally bringing that to life and accomplishing something. We all know that you're a fantastic artist as well. So now you're... I'm
going to send you 50 quid in the post.
65.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, cool.
But it's great, honestly, just to be part of an absolutely amazing community and see people doing stuff that makes them happy. So yeah, it's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it's quality. I know he's not in the chat, but if he's watching this afterwards, I actually owe Dino a lot, because if it hadn't been for Dino getting me on his channel, I wouldn't have met all of you guys.
Yeah.
So I mean, Dino's great.
We've got a lot to thank Dino for.
Yeah, definitely, mate.
He's definitely the bridge for a lot of people meeting here.
He is definitely, yeah. It is.
He's definitely a good guy.
He definitely is. But I think on that note, we're going to end it there before I have any more Wi-Fi issues. Tom, I do need to get you on my show.
Yeah.
Instead of just a cameo.
I might.
And yeah, we need to get you on Scott's as well.
Yes, good.
Yeah, we'll get you on. It's been great having you on, Scott. Thank you so much, Tom.
No problem, mate.
It's the first time I dropped the chat. I thought no one's going to jump on. I thought it was the only time I've dropped the link. I thought, this is going to fall flat on my face like my Wi-Fi did. I'm actually going to kill that little hamster in the wheel that's been running my internet for the past hour and a half.
Yeah, do it, mate. You want to borrow this one? You can have this one to run your Wi-Fi for that.
Oh, he's gorgeous.
Look at him.
He's like, I want to go to bed now. I've had enough.
Dad, put me to bed.
He's like, what are you doing, Dad? I don't like the camera.
Yeah, put me down.
But, thanks for joining me, both of you. Massive shout out to you, Scott, for one, having me on your show the other night, and two, for putting up with the dodgy Wi-Fi signal. It's been great.
That's
I hope
fine.
you enjoyed it.
It's been great, mate. Thank you.
And if you do get the chance, head over to Scott's shelf. Instagram,
It's right
YouTube.
there. There's my shelf.
There's the shelf. That is the shelf that everyone talks about. He does have IKEA shelves that he puts up now and again.
Yeah.
And then also head over to notquitemint.com, the new comic book shop, but also check them out on Instagram and YouTube as well.
Yeah, we wibble a lot. We do a lot of wibbling.
You do
A lot of wibbling.
There's wibbling, there's wobbling, and there's waffling.
Yeah,
So,
a lot of waffling.
Between all three of us, I think we've got. I think we can do something.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a new snap, crackle, and pop, isn't it? Wibble, waffle, wobble.
Like a robot, it'd be like that. Because the Wi-Fi, so it'd be snap, crackle, and fucking Wi-Fi. That's what it can all be.
Crackle and fucking Wi-Fi. That's a great cereal.
But what I could do, I could just make 55 minutes of bloody outtakes. That's
Do it.
And then, I'll just do that.
You should do an outtake show. That'd be great.
Mate, this is my life, and my life is an outtake show.
Oh,
I'm just trying to publish it on YouTube. Get them 1,000 subscribers so I can get that £1 every 100 views, which I'm not even hitting. But guys, it's been great having you on. Thank you very much. I hope you all have a wicked week. And as always, guys, if I don't see you for a week,